Okay, Sylvia. So this is, I think this is your attempt at, or you're clearing 6 foot at the Lincoln meet on the 8th versus Grant Lincoln. So there's a lot of things that actually are really similar to Anna's vault. So I'll probably just run through them pretty quickly, and if you want to sec kind of more in depth on a number of things, I think I went in a little bit of detail, probably too much detail, on her video. So if you want to check that out, that might be helpful for you. So just kind of started at the beginning. I noticed, and I think I've noticed this before, and I may have even talked to you about it, but I know you're running flat foot here. And that's great for the ultimate and penultimate step. These last two steps before you jump, or before you actually get into the vault. But all of this approach stuff right here, you need to be up on the balls of your feet, and really, really sprinting through. You come through penultimate, ultimate. Right here at the actual ultimate step, the final step, the jump step, it looks like you're kind of behind. So your hand, see how your hand is kind of forced back to be behind your foot? It should be that your hand comes straight up. So really your foot probably, and I think you may have just ran a little bit faster. So as we get more consistent, especially with getting up on the balls of your feet, getting kind of an accelerated approach, so you're starting slower and getting faster as you get closer. We'll make some adjustments so that your foot is in the correct spot. You got up into the air pretty well. I like that you kind of drove up with your knee. I'd like to see it a little bit higher. Oops. So it comes up more like that instead of down it this way. But it's a pretty good jump, pretty good drive. And you do a good job of really curling yourself, getting yourself up in the air. You're nice and high at this point. I'd like to see if we can get you a little bit higher on the pole. Just kind of that'll get you a little bit better of a position to get over the bar. Now here, if you zoom in a little bit, what happens here is kind of interesting. So you start to turn, because you look at your shoulders right here, and your whole body is really kind of directed forward, which is as it should be for this point in the vault. And you get to here, you kind of twist yourself just a little bit. So you kind of go from here and you kind of twist around, so that you're pointing more toward the camera. So you're turning toward the pole, which is good, but you're not quite, I mean, I wouldn't quite call that a 90-degree turn. That's probably about like a 70-degree turn or so. Ideally, you would actually be turning all the way over so that your belly is totally toward the ground, and your back's in the air, and that'll give you a little bit of space in between yourself and the crossbar over here. And the other thing that I think we really ought to work on, kind of just in the top end side of things, is you're kind of kicking around, flailing around with your feet. See right here, this one's kind of kicking over the bar, which is pretty good. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Matter of fact, it's actually kind of helpful. But this foot comes kicking way out to the side toward the camera, and almost clips the bar right here. So we want to see if we can get both of those feet pointed kind of together and pointed up and over to get over the crossbar. And then that'll kind of put you at a better position to, instead of kind of just letting go of the pole and kind of giving it a slight nudge, really being able to push it away so we don't have too much at that. Because that's kind of just a lucky stopping point. Overall, though, I thought you had a pretty good performance at Lincoln, and I'd like to see what we can do better. See you out on the track.
It really made me why I like not even coach here.